여러분을 환영합니다. 이번 게임은 2인 1조로 진행됩니다. 자신과 함께 게임을 하기를 원하는 사람을 찾아 두 사람의 동의하에 서로 악수를 하면 짝이 됩니다.
영감님, 저랑 하실래요?
참가자들은 진행 요원의 안내에 따라 각자의 위치로 이동해 주시기 바랍니다.
내가 옛날에 이런 동네에서 살았어.
저도요. 어릴 때 이런 비슷한 골목에서 살았었습니다.
아, 그럼 동네에서 어릴 때 구슬치기 많이 했지. 내가 선수였어.
저도 좀 합니다. 다행이네요. 또 힘쓰려고 시키면 어쩌나 했는데.
이번 게임은 각자 자신의 구슬을 가지고 지금 여러분의 옆에 있는 짝과 시합을 벌여 상대의 구슬 10개를 모두 따내는 사람이 승리합니다. 다시 한번 말씀드립니다.
Players will be paired by their qualifier seedings, similar to a bracket stage. When the match is played, the player choosing the map will also pick a win condition, score v2, accuracy, or combo. Matches will be played best of 9, and tiebreakers will always be played on score v2.
Okay, everybody. So, welcome to the fourth game. As you can see, players will be able to choose their own win condition in this game of marbles. I am Rhymes with Mash, and I am joined by none other than Alexire. How are you doing?
I am doing fine. There are people using power tools outside, which is wonderful, but you can't hear it, so that doesn't matter.
So, as you saw, the pairings will be determined by seedings, so the matchups you will be seeing this weekend are Seed 2 versus Seed 54, Kunkawe versus Mataya, Seed 4 versus Seed 44, CPT Sevalia versus Mitch, 5 versus 43, Bayetka versus Adam Ackerville, 6 versus 39, Netro versus Crazy Pizza Kid, Seed 7 versus 38, Tristan Jacob versus Ufixil, 8 versus 37, Oyama Mahiro versus White Albino, 9 versus 34, Walmart 5193 versus Cow, 10 versus 33, Lot versus Tevelkin, 12 versus 29, Dev versus Surkamp, 14 versus 25, AOM DCO versus Cub 03, 15 Axelarix versus 23 Beta Carotene, and Seed 17 Dark Echuser versus Seed 20 Raphael PC. So take note that will be on the sheet soon enough, but there's only one thing to do here, and that is to show off all the maps for this fourth game. How about that?
Indeed. I believe we should just go right into it.
Yeah, so our Rice 1 will be Ato. This is a pretty classic dump speed map.
Yeah, this is loved, I believe, right?
Yeah, there are a handful of loved maps in this pool. A lot of classics.
Yeah. I believe this is just our regular speed pick. And I believe most of you can recognize that. It does go between these trills and then speed, which makes it a bit off to manage, but the main difficulty would definitely be from the streams itself.
Yeah, it is certainly pretty quick. The beacon is 234, and it really is not especially straightforward. You see a more sustained stream here. It was a little bit more bursty earlier, and it's got these split trills in between them.
Yeah, it does kind of repeat between these two patterns with the split trills, the speed, but it does have quite the toll on your stamina, as this is 3 minutes long. But you do get a break section here, which is nice. I believe we are reaching the end of that break section. Yeah, and we do go right back into it.
Yeah, these streams come back in full force.
Yeah, much more powerful this time, as you don't really get that constant break between those trills and the speed. As this is definitely more just pure speed. Oh, but there is that jack right there, as the replay did trip up, so you might as well. So yeah, watch out for that.
Yeah, and it's kind of just more of the same in this ending. Don't get lost in the sauce. Keep your focus through all these streams at the very end. Don't let your stamina get to you too much. The really interesting thing about this game is that when you get to pick your win condition, you could choose combo and just hope to hold on at the end further than your opponent. So this might be an interesting choice, along with some of the other more stamina-based maps, if you think you have that edge over your opponent. But that leads us to our second rice pick. It is none other than Speed of Link by Shoegazer.
Yes.
And another loved map here.
Mm-hmm. The intro does not wait at all until we go into the jump stream.
Yeah, this is pretty stinking fast jump stream. Not to be messed with. It's got a handful of trills in here too. It's not super straightforward.
Yeah, coming in at 263 BPM, or well, more specifically 263.1, but I don't think these specifics matter. You do go into an easier section right after that.
Yeah, this is significantly shorter, so it's more of a speed jump stream pick instead of a stamina jump stream pick, which is a nice option to have.
Yeah. This Palmer section does go up for quite a bit, but we go right into it once again, and I believe it picks up even more this time, as previous that stream didn't go on for too long, but this one just is very continuous and very stamina draining. Yeah, just does not let up. I believe it gets denser as well, if I am correct. But
until this
right here.
slowdown at the end where it kind of backs off at the very end.
Yeah, the BPM lowers, I believe. Yeah, but very quick, I'd say. 2 minutes.
Yeah, and on to our third rice pick. This is our Chordjack pick. It is The Shadow by Course K, matched by none other than Stupid Man.
This is very interesting, as I believe the general idea of this map is that the difficulty progressively gets harder as the song goes on. So we do start off with just some simple kind of mini jacks here. But that's not to say this is the entire chart.
Yeah, it is not a simple chart. Standing at 156 BPM, things get pretty intense further on.
It is quite the step up from last chord jack pick that was 135 BPM, and we're going straight to 156. It does start to pick up a bit more here. As you can see, the density is definitely a lot higher. There's not really any more mini jacks. It's going into the actual chord jack part. But there is quite a repetition between doubles in the first 2 lanes and the last 2 lanes.
Yeah, you're
So-
kind of trading off between hands here.
Yeah,
2 left, 2 right, and so on.
I believe that will make it easier to manage considering how high this BPM is and how much of a step up it is from our last pick. But we do go into the hardest part in a second here.
Yeah, you thankfully do get that break section before this ending.
Yes. And this is kind of the climax, the hardest part.
Yeah, we do see more of those single hand doubles and such, but it is punctuated by these more thicker and more full hand jacks and such, like this section.
Yeah. But after that, we go to an abrupt end. But that will do it for our chord jack pick.
Yeah, and that brings us to Rice 4.
Ooh.
Gamma stopped sending me Ratchet and Clank videos to sample by none other than Lemon Guy.
This is an interesting one. It's quite the long one as well.
Yeah, this
I
is,
believe it is,
yeah, it's one of the more stamina draining charts I was talking about earlier. It's 4 minutes, above 4 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, 4 minutes 9. I don't know if there's any break sections or like anything that make it actually below that, but I'm pretty sure it's 4 minutes long. But it just goes straight into it, and you've already got like some mini jacks, some bursts here and there. I mean, if you listen to the song, you can understand what makes this so out there.
Yeah, this is a really fun chart. It's so like techy, and it really represents the kind of mashcore song really well. And it is
Yeah.
certainly not easy. It's really challenging.
No, not at all. I believe this is also ranked
Yeah,
as a
it
guest
is.
difficulty. Yeah. But this is the solo set. Not an easy section here, but that makes almost no difference compared to what we're about to see with the rest of the chart.
Gets back into it here.
Yeah. Definitely more jacky, more bursty. Very.
Mini jacks are not to be ignored either. Those are really fast. It's so easy to miss
Yeah.
on those. And these trills
I
as
feel
well.
like they make up a lot of the difficulty for this, especially.
Was mating season. How could I have known she was your sister? How long have you two been standing there? Too long.
There's just a lot going on in this song in general. It's hard to take in, honestly.
Yeah, it has a lot of different sections that all kind of have their own different like flavors. This one is a lot more dense, whereas the previous one was a lot more techy and mini jacky. There's a more jump stream oriented section near the end, and this whatever's going on here.
Yeah. I think that's just some dense jump stream right there, so for just a miscellaneous rice pick, it does make sense, because this just has it all, basically.
Yeah.
And the samples in this are something else. right back into it. More jump stream, I believe. Well, I don't believe I see it, but
Seeing
get
is
the
believing.
idea. Of course. But more mini jacks. And another break.
Yeah, despite all these breaks, it is pretty stamina draining. So throughout these 4
The breaks
minutes, you're
are-
definitely gonna feel the burn.
Very short, yeah. And then more just tech, if there's one way to describe it. Yeah, we are reaching the end though, so hopefully by now you still have some stamina left.
These trills.
Interesting burst here, yeah. But that is Tech 4? No, Rice 4, not Tech 4. This is technically Tech 1, but that's enough rambling. Anyways,
Yeah. Love that map, but on to Rice 5. Lunatic Rough Party by Fullerene. Oh boy. Another
yeah,
rough map.
quite a few.
I feel like this will be kind of a divisive pick.
We do go into it with some reels.
Yeah, this map is kind of another grab bag of rice, you know. We've got these long jacks,
Yeah.
streams. It is certainly difficult, certainly somewhat technical, but certainly a different flavor of tech than Gamma Stop.
Right. Yeah, I believe you have some, like, what's it called? I forgot the name, but that's okay. I think you can see for yourself with these mini jacks that are also bursty. I've forgotten the name for half of these. There's too much that goes on in these.
Happens to the best of us. Something in the break section here. This is a lot shorter than Gamma Stop, so if you want a somewhat similar pick, but without the stamina element, this is a good option. And these bursts and these mini jacks,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, there's gluts, I guess they are really adding to the difficulty in this section, as you can see. So, it's shorter than Gamma, but I'd say its overall difficulty is much more harder to manage.
Yeah.
But it's very short. That
That
will
is
do it.
the 5th of our 6th rice picks, and here is our last rice. It is,
That's a hard name to pronounce.
yeah, Shoegazer map, 1.15.
This is a fairly old one as well, and also a fairly short one as well. It's pretty similar to what we've been seeing so far, especially keeping that kind of song structure similar to Gamma, as it's kind of all over the place with these drums. But you do have more mini jacks with bursts in them,
Yeah, you're gonna
and I
have to
believe
be
this one,
a little lighter on your feet for this pick, I think, compared to perhaps Lunatic Rough Party.
right, and I believe this one doesn't have nearly as many break sections or downtime compared to the last two. It just kind of keeps going. Yeah, it's pretty solid throughout, keeping that everything tech related.
Yeah, this is more like speed streams and speed jack tech. The patterns aren't super uncomfortable, but you do have to have those really strong fundamentals to be able to score really well on this.
Yeah, for sure. Especially how we're already nearing the end and we did not see a single break section.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do reach the end. Another short pick, but another really hard one as well.
And that
But
is,
that will do it for Rice, I believe.
yeah,
Am
that's
I
the
right?
end of our
Yeah.
rice pool. We'll now take it to Hybrid 1. It is Violent Arcade 1.1. And I'd
I
like to give a
believe.
shout out to the Toxic Scent for doing all these replays. We value your work very much.
Quite the effort, yeah. But I believe a lot of you will have recognized this as it just got loved. I don't remember what tournament it was used in, but I know it was used in one for sure a long time ago.
Yeah, I feel like that can be said for most of these maps. A lot of them are throwbacks to like MWC 2017, around that time.
Yeah, that's kind of the point as well, so. But as for the chart itself, we do see a lot of long notes that are just forcing themselves within these rice patterns, as you can see right here. But
Yeah, and it's not all
you
like
go.
short LN either. It's got long notes that are long enough to make a difference in your reading.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's why everyone is a Percy now, because reading is just an issue, and I don't blame them, but yeah, it's still quite hard to keep track of when you see long notes, like right there with one column being long notes and the other being rice. That's especially something that can like trip you up with reading. It's quite the interesting section for something that's meant to be less dense, as its difficulty didn't really change all that much. But we do go into the last quarter of the chart, with it being even more out there with its long note usage compared to the first half.
Yeah, more trilly long notes, more speedy rice. It's a challenge to wrap your head around this one.
Definitely is, but when we do get here, we are approaching the end of the chart with that funny burst at the end.
And,
That is our first hybrid, though.
yeah, and Hybrid 2, Heathens by Abraxos.
This is another very, very interesting one, as it's definitely on the more experimental side of like long note hybrid and whatnot.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Abraxos, I think you will know what this chart is like.
Yeah.
This kind of hybrid and long note style is pretty identifiable, I'd say.
Right. We do have a pretty long intro from what I remember, so can't really comment too much on it. But what I can say is that this is also another love chart, and surprisingly enough, it has like 960 favorites, which is really funny to me. But I don't know how many of them are bots. I don't know why there are favorite bots, but it doesn't matter. It's a good chart, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we're finally kind of getting past that intro, getting a little bit more involved.
Yeah, but when we do hit the main hard part, it really does show.
Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah. We've got a lot of long notes especially that stick out. But
Yeah,
you still
much
see the
more-
right.
Yeah, like you were saying, much more long note involved than our previous hybrid pick.
Yeah. Okay. We go into the second section of the drop. It's more more rice than what we saw in the previous section, and some even more quirky long notes. But that's no surprise if you've ever played anything by Abraxos. Yeah. Does keep up the very interesting snaps that these long notes do have, especially with the releases. Is that something you have to watch out for? Almost none of them really release at the same time, but we do kind of go into an easier outro as expected.
Yeah, like you said, when it hits hard. This outro isn't anything negligible either.
Yeah. But that is it. Aside from the intro, this is a very short chart,
Hmm.
but that is our second hybrid. I've already lost track somehow.
Yeah, that was hybrid 2. This is our last hybrid, hybrid 3, Terabyte Connection by How to Play Long
How to play long note, my favorite. Yeah, I believe this is the cut version, because there's on the set there's a long version and then the cut version. So yeah, we are looking at, what's it called? I forgot what I was going to say. Wonderful. But
I feel like
oh, we are looking at. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
you go ahead. You've been, you've been thinking
We are
about
looking
this.
at a lot of trills in this intro.
Yeah. Looking like
Yeah.
it's kind of a more even split between LMs and race here, but we haven't really hit the meat of the map yet.
Another pretty lengthy intro, but that's expected of any 4-minute long song. But this is cut, so it makes sense. However, we are heading into it with this rice burst, followed by the actual hard part.
Oh yeah.
As you can see, it's definitely picking up, kind of like what we saw with our last pick. We do see some mini jacks in here, a lot of long notes.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. Not holding back with those mini jacks, some of the light inverse. It's intense.
It is. I don't remember the long note to rice ratio on this, but I'm pretty sure it's fairly even. Okay. This section's just kind of the basic jump stream with long notes intertwined. But then we go into the next section, which is not so much that anymore.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
pretty different from the previous section. We've got these long note jacks, a couple of lambs going on. Pretty intrusive to read.
Yeah. But
Long note anchor.
got some really interesting graces here with this like full long note section. Coordination on this is going to be especially tough because you have to time that release on the first or fourth column depending on which measure, but that is it for this, as it's short and necessary as it has to be cut. But that
Yeah.
is all of our hybrids, I
Mhm.
believe.
And we have a couple long notes as well. Our first one being Inai, timing heck.
Oh boy.
Now this is well known.
Yes.
Classic One Crystal.
Definitely a really good description of, anything timing hell, as Juan's kind of the one who pioneered this.
Oh yeah. There's only so much you can say here. I feel like mostly everybody will know this chart.
Yeah, especially with Being Loved as well as a lot of our other charts, but I feel like anyone who's played long notes has at least heard of this. And as your typical coordination timing hell pick, it does keep up that thing with releases being everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, almost no releases are actually released at the same time. But for this, you've got some weird mini jacks split in, but then we get into the real difficulty with our, full long note coordination styled, whatever you call it.
Yeah, and occasional shields thrown in there as well. You just gotta be on your toes this entire time. You cannot lose your focus here.
Yeah.
Just keep
Also
throwing
fairly
these-
long.
Yeah, these inverse bursts just keep coming at you.
Yeah. That was enough. You still will check the bar and realize that you're not even halfway through. Yeah.
There's like rolly inverses come back each time.
And you've got your shields put into this as well, if that wasn't easy enough. And then we go into the next drop, Horus. I don't know what this is, but
Yeah. More releasey inverse, if you want to call it that.
yeah. It was a fairly short course as well, as we're already into this next section.
Yeah, this is definitely a break compared to what came before it.
Yeah, for sure. This is much easier to manage compared to everything we've seen.
Let's build up with some mini jacks into the ending here.
Yeah. And then we go into our last section, last hard part. And it's once again really showing us that you really need the coordination for this. And then you have the outro, which is equally as hard, honestly.
Yeah, more shields, more of these small releases. Just coordination hell. Who would have thought?
Right. That is our coordination pick, and I believe next is density.
Yeah, our
I'm
long
right.
note 2.
Is another name that's not so easy to pronounce. Something Joker,
Yeah.
and then an even harder to pronounce diff name, but yes, this is long note 2, our density.
Mapped by Mysterion.
Yes.
We're gonna see a lot of these inverses coming up.
You've got your pretty simple intro here, but then we get into something a bit harder, and the real density will start to show itself now. Or almost, I guess, but you do have these weird coordination shields, and there we go, that's what it, yeah.
It rolls in inverse. Not super hard to read, I think, but very difficult to maintain the inverse.
Yeah, it's just full inverse. There's like no gaps between anything here. It's very tough. And you've even got those normal rice notes to just rip you up as well. Yeah, we do go out of that with another inversey section, but it does calm down here. Still full long note as expected of anything density. But we are going straight back into what we were just seeing before with your full inverse, full long note density, but then you have those as well, like I said, which will definitely rip someone up, as it did with the replay, unfortunately.
Yeah, those anchors on the edge in Rice can not only trip you up physically, but especially your reading after you're used to just seeing long notes.
Yeah, it's a surprise for sure. But that is it.
Yeah, a nice shorter pick for our second long note, and we are going into our third and final long note pick. It is Murderous True Millennium Queen.
From, once again, Lemon Guy. But this will be our wild card long note pick, as we go straight into it with these really trippy patterns, kind of alternating between that ordination and density you have here.
Those jacks,
Yeah,
into a
but
full inverse.
yeah. And then you've got some really weird snaps that will for sure trip you up if you're not preparing, if you're not expecting.
Yeah, so the density into coordination into this, like, full inverse jacks.
Yeah. We do have some weird rice bursts within these, and some shields, if that wasn't enough.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of everything here.
As a wildcard pick should. But we are back with the density, the full inverse, and then we're back with the weird snaps back into density. You get the idea.
Yeah, these kind of three-column inverses are certainly interesting. I feel like it's a kind of a different feel from the full inverse, but kind of coordination as well. It's really interesting. And then we've got these rice long jacks alongside the LNs. It's a lot.
There's a lot to take in here. Utilizes a lot of long note variety. But we do reach the end, and that brings us to our tiebreaker.
Yeah, the only thing left. And it is Ashed Wings by Cherrycho.
Yeah, we did get an NSV version uploaded for this, as there's a ranked version with SVs in it. But we do open up to this intro.
Yeah, I think this has pretty much everything you would want in a good tiebreaker. It's got the rice, it's got the long notes, it's got the hybrids, and everything you want within that, along with the length.
Yes. You did see a harder version of this used in Soul 3 Finals, which is also just one of the hardest tiebreakers we've seen to date, but that's not about this. We do see a pretty good alternation between long notes and rice, as you've got like these graces.
Man, that looks
We do
fun.
go into, yeah, the first drop, which is just this very long note heavy, wouldn't say density, but it is just very long note heavy. And then we go straight into right. Yeah, so it does make a very appropriate high breaker, as it's got all the hybrid elements to it.
You see more of these kind of flams on one hand, like we saw in one of the earlier picks.
Yeah. You get this jack, mini jack burst section, something. But, and then here's a really trippy part with these long notes.
Yeah, this breakdown is certainly interesting, something new from what we saw before. And a quick reminder that if a match does reach the tiebreaker, it will be played on Score V2, regardless of who picked it, just for the sake of fairness.
I don't think that was specified yet, so that's good to know. But we do go into another hard part as expected. I mean, very rice heavy here. Very burst heavy as well, which fits the song very well.
Yeah, these trills and jacks can certainly play to your strengths if you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Some shields with these long notes coming back.
Yeah. And some reverse shields as well, if that was any hard.
It's not a real tournament without a competitive tiebreaker, right?
That's very, very true. And then we've got some really interesting section here as it does some mostly long note stuff here. And it does go into full inverse for some of these sounds, which is a really good way to represent the song, I'd say. But it picks up even more after this, which is funny, because that's what this song really just does. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it just keeps on escalating. We've got more of the speedy rice we saw earlier.
Yeah. And some more of those graces, flams, whatever you want to call them. But as we do reach the end, we do reach this final verse. Hopefully you did not think that was the end, because the end really does have a lot to unpack.
Yeah, these long notes. And a jump trill to finish things off.
Everybody loves jump trills, what can I say?
And
But
that's everything for your fourth game pool.
indeed.
So you can check the Discord for a refresher on how the round will go. You will be picking the win condition for each map as you pick. So you may want to do some research on how Score V2 differs from Score V1, or actually you don't get to choose Score V1. It's Score V2 accuracy or combo. That's what it is. So you might want to consider if you have the advantage in accuracy or score, or if you think you don't have the physicality to perhaps or accuracy to beat your opponent, you might want to go with combo and say, why not?
Yeah, it's up to you. I believe we will see some people choose combo over Score V2, as there is a good reason for that, because we've been so used to seeing everything tournament related being on Score V2. I believe there are people out there who can definitely take advantage of combo game rather then score.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. The matchups again are by seeding. They will be on the sheet soon enough, but
They are in round info? No, they're in a channel. They're in announcements, that's right. You can check there as well.
all right. But with that, anything left to say?
I believe not. I can just say good luck to everyone. Don't die, please.
Yeah, this is eliminating half the players, so good luck and thank you for watching. See you next time.
Goodbye.